Hello, I am Callie Fares and I'm reporting to you for the AUB Organic Chemistry Club YouTube channel. On the 3rd and 4th of September, we hosted Nobel Laureate Sir Fraser, who gave a research talk on the 3rd and a mentoring talk on the 4th. In this video, I'll be interviewing Sir Fraser, Professor Haddadin, and attendees from the talks. Hello, Sir Fraser. Thank you for joining us, and it is an honor to have you. Is this your first time in Lebanon?
Yes, this is my first real visit to Lebanon. I once visited the airport for a few hours, but this is a real visit this time.
Okay, and how do you like it till now?
Oh, it's just amazing. I would start with the countryside and the city of Beirut. It is just absolutely spectacular. And then secondly, the people, and maybe I should have started with the people, but young ones like yourself are so, I think, engaged and so excited about what you're doing, and then you are surrounded by teachers who are pressing themselves to the limits in terms of opening doors for, I think, you as young people in the Lebanon, and I think that puts you in a very fortunate position. This is the sort of position I was put in Scotland when I was a young teenager and going to university, so I applaud what's happening here at the American University in Beirut.
So how do you like AUB and how did you like the campus?
Well, the campus is not what I expected because I hadn't associated it with being on a hill. I think this is excellent for young people who can keep themselves fit by going up and down, no doubt, to classes. But for somebody like myself at 76, then I look at it and I think, my goodness, will I be able to even go down, let alone go up? Because, my father said to me when I was probably your age, son, it will become difficult one day to go downstairs. And I thought, that's a crazy comment coming from you, Father. But he was right. So your knees and limbs are not as agile when you're post 70 than you are when you are in your prime, in your 20s and so forth.
And any feedback after your research talk and the interaction with the students yesterday?
Well, I guess the main feedback has been through Twitter. And of course, I've been labeled as the Twitter monster, so there I get a lot of feedback, and I think all of it has been positive. I haven't seen anything that has been negative, and of course, in my own approach to Twitter, I only make positive statements. I never, describe incidents where things went sadly wrong, and I could do this quite often with travel incidents where a plane doesn't leave on time or I miss a connection or something. That's not for me, incident that is worthy of tweeting, because I'm really committed to just talking about positive things.
How did you like the Gala Dinner?
Oh, the Gala Dinner, yes. This was orchestrated beyond my expectations, and I think the group of people who were there, both the brightest and best of the student body, plus I think a hierarchical component that brought in not only academicians but obviously political people as well, and people from the media, and then there was the people who entertained us, the singers, and the fiddler was absolutely fantastic. And it was all of a very, very high class, and I was engaged in dancing and having a whale of a time, as much as my energy would allow at that time of the day after a very busy day. The food was phenomenal, of course, and it's just a general observation in terms of coming to Lebanon is you have obviously put a tremendous amount of effort as a group of people in a country, a small country, a culture, to serve yourself well with the things that really count in life. So good food, good wine, and ready to have a party. It's the way you should live your life, yes.
What does it mean to you to have a cedar tree, the symbolic tree of Lebanon, planted in your name in Tanurian?
Well, it is a symbolic act, and of course the fact that it is so much engaged with the Lebanon and its flag, and I notice it's also part of the Middle East airline logo, if we might call it that. So I think the tree is a very neutral expression of love with a country, and I think it's an excellent choice. I'm a little distraught to hear that there's a little worm that is attacking the cedar trees in the Lebanon, and obviously the people who are up there in the forest are very, very concerned. And so I said, well, you know, you've got to turn to the scientists at places like AUB to address this problem. And so it's therefore important that, and there were people from the political arena there, that you invest in research, starting at the fundamental level, as I'll stress in this talk today, but also that it spills over into applied nature. And if the country has a problem, then the university system, given the inventiveness of the faculty and the students, should be, just encouraged to tackle that problem, because, our environment is so important to all of us at the end of the day, and you don't want to have deforestation and the sight of a lot of dead trees. That is bad in every sort of way. It's depressing to look at, and of course it's not beneficial to the general environment. The atmosphere is also dependent on you having good trees that are ready to consume some of the much over-the-top CO2 that's been released into it in the last 2 or 3 decades by our urbanization and the way we live.
So how did you like the experience of going to Tanurian today?
Well, as far as my eyes was concerned, they were just looking on in amazement. I'd never associated the Lebanon with such stark and such dramatic mountains, and of course made up of rock and stone that is, part of a Mediterranean scene. And so you saw quite a lot of the stone because it's a dry area. That was the very positive thing. The less positive thing was the long drive, because my knees get kind of sore when they're forced to be sitting in the back of a car or a van. But I forget about that quite quickly and think only of the ceremony, the reception that we had afterwards, the wonderful people that I met up there, and the act of actually planting this tree and watching also Dr. Haddadin do likewise. So at least there are 2 more trees up there than there were earlier today.
What does it mean to you to be able to mentor young minds?
Oh, that's the most valuable part of my whole experience as an academic. I go on record very often as saying I probably won't be remembered for my research, although people might find that rather shocking since I'm a recipient of a Nobel Prize. But on the other hand, at my sort of personal level, being able to interact with people between largely the ages of 18 and 32 for almost every day of my life, either in my own laboratory or university or on a visit like this, is an uplifting experience. It has kept me young. My own daughters will tell me that, Daddy, you are rather special compared to the fathers and grandparents of some of our friends, because you can equate to our lifestyle and the grandchildren's lifestyle. So it keeps me young to be able to interact with young people on an everyday basis.
Thank you, Sir Fraser, for letting me interview you.
It's been a pleasure.
Hello, Professor Haddadin. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
What does it mean to you for a Nobel Laureate to give the Makhlouf Haddadin Lecture?
It's a great honor, there is no doubt about it. And the credit goes to Bilal Kaafarani, who has done all the work, that he invited this big man and he came to Lebanon, to AUB and to Lebanon. And it's a credit for AUB and for Lebanon.
Did you envision for the Makhlouf Haddadin Lectureship to reach this high of a level this fast?
With Bilal Kaafarani, yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What did you think of the lecture and the interaction with the students?
I think it's a fascinating lecture, as he tried to explain for the layman, and the layman got what he wanted from his lecture. Of course, when it came to details, some people who are not in the field did not understand what he was saying. Yes. For example, my brother is an engineer. He attended the lecture, and maybe he didn't get much out of it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Professor. That's all then.
Biology.
Okay, and what was your favorite part about the talk?
I like the philosophical part because, like, in the world where we are governed by materialism, I think it's very important to acknowledge this ethical part and to implement such steps to make science better as a whole and to help humanity combat many obstacles it faces. So I think it was so inspiring, and I am so happy I was able to be here.
Were you able to relate to anything in the talk?
I have a minimum chemical knowledge. I'm still a new student, but I was inspired to know how like modern science implications can affect like a lot of different fields, and like this made me so excited about the route I'm going to take in the future.
I'm a biology student. I'm Mohammad Al-Labban.
Were you inspired by the talk?
Yes, definitely. It was very inspiring. He's one of the most inspirational people I've ever met. I mean, it was very, it was great. I mean, when I entered, I was one person. When I exited, I'm another.
Is this the first research talk you attend by a Nobel Laureate?
Yes, by a Nobel Laureate, yes. This is my first, actually. Yeah.
My name is Medhat Sidi. I'm a bio major.
Okay, how was the talk?
It was a very interesting talk. It was a bit advanced, but I enjoyed the talk.
Okay, and what was your favorite part about the talk?
I enjoyed the ending about the whole philosophical thing about like science and how it unites humanity in a way. That was interesting. I like that.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Noor and I'm in the computer science major.
Adam, and also computer science.
Okay. Did the seminar change your perspective on anything?
Yes, well, I'm interested in the field of neuroscience. That's what I want to pursue in my PhD. And this opened like a new perspective as to what can be done using molecular machines and all of that. So that was really beneficial.
And I'm not really familiar with the chemistry, but he taught me more about pursuing something that no one really expects. Just like doing my research, what I want, and just going all out, and it will happen. And maybe it's a success.
Would you say the talk positively impacted you?
Yes, definitely. It changed my perspective in a lot of things. I did not know that so much can happen in the field of chemistry and that it could be that revolutionary. So that changed my perspective. It was really helpful.
Yeah, it definitely had a positive impact. Yeah, I would never expected chemistry to be that important, like he said, like drawing or painting or composers. Like, it's amazing. It's what you can do with it is just fantastic.
Saeed Sinno, biology.
Fatima Shahrur, chemistry.
Were you able to relate to anything in the talk?
Yes, a lot of topics through organic chemistry.
Being a chemistry major, I was able to relate somehow. It was very inspiring and it will motivate us to explore different fields of chemistry.
My name is Omar Serdouk and I'm a bio major.
What was your favorite part about the talk?
Well, it's a bit hard to choose what part, but I really liked how we explained how we have finally discovered a way to create a molecular battery. I found that entirely interesting.
Okay, and would you say you were inspired by the talk, and if you were like positively impacted?
Well, I just met someone who spent his entire life benefiting mankind. Can't be less overwhelmed.
Malik Kanaan, chemistry.
Jihad Faqihi, chemistry.
Okay, how did it feel to hear a Nobel Laureate speak?
It was actually great. He's a very fun person, and he's a very nice person. So and he's a very wise person too. So, yeah.
Honestly, what he presented seems like it's opening up a new field. He presents very differently from other professors we have heard before, صراحة, and it shows why he won a Nobel Prize.
Okay, and as a chemistry major, did you feel inspired and were you able to relate to what he was saying?
Yeah, kind of not, because it's way more advanced than what we've learned. But yeah, it's something new and something nice to learn about and maybe to explore in the future.
Yeah, it's definitely inspiring because you see how comfortable he is in speaking and presenting his idea, and it seems like he's comfortable dedicating his whole life to it. So it's inspiring to see someone doing that, and I hope to be able to do the same.
Marwan Ghamlouche, electrical and computer engineering student.
Okay, were you able to relate to the talk?
Surprisingly, yes, and it's because of a few courses that we've taken where we take very simple machines, I guess, or movements, and then relate them to more complex systems. And so that's what they did in the talk, basically. We demonstrated very simple mechanisms that later grew into something very much more complex. So that helped.
Okay, and how did it feel to hear a Nobel laureate speak?
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it or anything. It felt quite normal. By the end of the day, he's just another human being trying to help out. The only difference is that he went way too far, which is great, and which is something we all admire to go to. But again, it just felt like any other speak, with a bit more flair, obviously.
And is this your first research talk you attend by a Nobel laureate?
It's the first time I've been close to a Nobel laureate in ever. So yeah, I guess.
My name is George. I am a medical student, actually.
Okay, and
chemistry major.
what did you think about the talk?
Well, the talk was entertaining. Seeing a Nobel laureate dance is not something I see every day. It was very enlightening, and I'm glad we had the chance to do it here in Beirut.
Okay, and how did it feel to be mentored by a Nobel laureate?
Well, I wish I had 50 years instead of 50 minutes, but it was quite the experience. It means something, I think, to learn from this, high caliber mind, sort of person, and I appreciate this.
Okay, and were you impacted by the talk?
Certainly, I've got my notes ready, and I'll be sure to review these 5-10 years from now, also.
I'm Marwan Ghamlouche, and I am an electrical and computer engineering student.
Okay, what did you think about the talk?
Well, as it was yesterday, it was quite awesome, very, very great. I liked that this was more personal. It was more about him rather than his work, which is always welcome. And it was kind of eye-opening to see how even the greatest of us has some of ordinary challenges we face every day. So that was very nice to see.
Okay, what do you think of mentoring at this age?
So I myself was fortunate to have a mentor at some point in my life as well. And I think it's quite important because the thing with schools is they're subject-oriented, but life isn't subject-oriented as well. Yeah, it isn't at all. It's more very generalities, and there are just some stuff that you can't categorize, like how to deal with people or how to go through a shitty phase in your life, that kind of stuff. And so having a mentor there, another human being to help you, is quite great.
Okay, and would you say you were inspired by the talk?
I was inspired by the human being before he started talking, and definitely while he was talking, sure, and after it.
Mariam, I'm majoring in chemistry.
After this mentoring talk, do you feel you would make better decisions?
Yes, this was a very inspiring talk, and I felt really encouraged to take big steps in my life, and especially related to my academic life. Yes.
And what part of the talk would you say you related to?
Related to the part where he talked about colleagues not being supportive, and I kind of have been through such a thing. But the difference is that Sir Fraser had actually been a really strong man and accomplished lots of stuff in his life.
My name's Kamil Wahbi. I'm an Econ major.
Okay, and what did you think about the talk?
To be honest, it was very inspiring because, like Sir Fraser, I myself come from humble origins, and to see that he had planned this all out, although all odds were against him from colleagues to faculty and friends, he was able to overcome whatever difficulties he had and reach the highest level of scientific achievement, which is something, we all aspire to.
Okay, and would you say you were impacted by this talk?
I was most definitely impacted by this talk. I heard him 3 times from the opening ceremony to yesterday to today, and he is really, I think, a revolutionary figure, growing up on a farm and making the best of his surroundings to learn in his own style and truly doing his own thing.
Okay, and what was your favorite part?
My favorite part, to be honest, was hearing about his happiness with his wife and his happiness with the little things like the tools around his farm. And what really made me believe this man is remarkable, there are a lot of pompous academics who have won Nobel Prizes, but this man was so supportive of his peers. For example, when he refused to speak in Imperial without getting David Williams. So I think it shows that, yes, we do need empathy. He got foreign students. We need to be more than just self-centered, successful individuals.
My name is Jad Murad. I'm a biology major.
Okay, and what did you think about the talk?
It was really inspiring. It relates to many topics that us as students and as undergrads face in our seeking education.
Okay, and how would you say it changed your view on life and your future career?
I would say it made me more courageous to face problems instead of trying to find a way around them, and always standing up to people who are causing problems towards me or are criticizing me in a certain way.
Okay, what would you say was your favorite part about this talk?
Favorite part would be actually how he reflected on his own life and how he related himself through the ages and what he has accomplished and how he began. That was the most inspiring favorite part.
Okay, and what do you think about mentoring at this age?
Mentoring at this age, I think it'd be the best age for that, since age reflects wisdom and we take it as wisdom, so this age is awesome for mentoring.
My name is Hassan Humani. I'm a chemistry bachelor major.
Okay. And after this mentoring talk, do you feel you would make better decisions in life?
Yes, because he inspired us to pursue our dreams and be determined and be passionate about what we do and don't chase other things in life, just our passion and our determination in life. Yes.
Okay, and what part of this talk would you say you could relate to?
I could relate to the corruption that he faced in England and that we are facing now, the criticizing of his colleagues and his friends that were criticizing him in a negative way, and we face bullies everywhere in our life, so we should also overcome these problems like he did. So he faced many things like we do in his early life, so that's why.
Hello, my name is Mohammad Laban, biology junior. I'm here at AUB.
And what do you think about the talk?
I think it was amazing. Sir Fraser is very, very inspirational.
He mentioned he was brought up on a farm. How does this relate to you if a farmer has reached this high of a level and has won a Nobel Prize in chemistry?
It's pretty amazing. I mean, he makes you believe that absolutely anything is possible. I mean, I'm just a student here, but maybe, who knows? I'm more privileged than he was. Then maybe I can reach even farther. So he really gives you that feeling that you can become someone what you really want.
So would you say this talk has changed your view on life and your future career?
Definitely. It has really changed my life. I mean, he's really inspirational.
William Biantoun in the Faculty of Medicine.
What was your favorite part about the talk?
How much he was inspired by his mentors and how much he dedicated of himself towards achieving his goals.
Okay, and what do you think about mentoring at this age?
I love mentoring talks. This is why I attended, even though I don't have a second in my day. But I think it's essential to have mentoring talks during our journey, during our academic journey. This is why I'm still choosing academia over other things in my life. So I think it's essential.
Yes, Amir Al-Jirdi, biology major.
Okay, what did you think about this talk?
It was very inspiring, full of surprises. There were a lot of things I did not see coming. I'm just glad I was here because my shift ended a while ago, but I'm glad I stayed and watched it. It was really life-changing.
Okay, how did it feel to be mentored by a Nobel Laureate?
amazing. I say again, the most wonderful thing was you can feel his passion, and the most thing I enjoyed about the entire thing was that how he just worked for the sake of discovering and achieving, and not for the sake of getting awarded and being famous, but he basically hit two birds with one stone, and that's pretty inspiring.
Okay, what part of this talk would you say you could relate to?
I could. He's definitely had more experience, faced a lot more difficulties than I have. But I could say I am having a hard time knowing what exactly I want to pursue later on. But it really is great relief to see that hard work pays off no matter what field you're in.
My name is Ahmed Bouaram and I'm majoring in civil engineering.
Okay, what did you think about the talk?
The talk was actually inspiring. So basically it emphasizes courage, the way he was ready to attack certain systems even though he said he might have lost his job. In addition, it was inspiring, basically showing you how his life have grinded him forward to achieve what he seeked for. And finally, it was somehow emotional, talking about the emotional side of his life, how he lost his wife, how he faced certain difficulties in the university world, how the change of environment actually shifted his life. That should be it.
I'm Omar Faid. I am a biology student.
Okay, after this mentoring talk, do you feel you would make better decisions in the future?
Yes, definitely. I mean, his talk was so inspiring that I'd like to face every obstacle I have. I mean, he faced, since he was a child, he was a farmer till becoming a Nobel Laureate. I think his story is so encouraging that we shouldn't be afraid of any obstacle that we face. He lost his wife, he continued, he's mentoring us, he's an excellent man.
Okay. What would you say was your favorite part about the talk?
My favorite part? When he said that he talked a lot about students helping each other. He said that there was a moment when a professor offered him help and he was about to cry. I like this part. It emphasizes importance of cooperation between students and mainly people around and friends.
My name is Nicole Charbel and my major is biology pre-med.
What did you think about the talk?
I thought it was so interesting and sincere, and Sir Fraser was so sincere in his words, and his accomplishments were so outstanding, and he did the tour of the world. It's so inspiring. I don't actually like chemistry, but he made me love chemistry, and it's great.
My name is Rawan Diab and I'm a bio pre-med student.
Were you impacted by this talk?
I would say I was very impacted with this talk because Sir Fraser has come on a long journey and he shared with us every step of the way, and I found it very inspiring.
What part of the talk did you relate to?
The most part of the talk that I wouldn't say I related to, but I loved the most, are the inspiring quotes that he included. I even took pictures of them because I really loved them. There was one about that a man who wants to do something in his life should dream of something that isn't even there and say, why not?
How did it change your view on life and your future career?
It showed me that we shouldn't think that anything is impossible, and that what isn't even in our mind now would actually happen someday, and we can do this.
I'm Leia Abou, I'm a biology major.
I'm Nathalie Esteli, I'm also biology.
Okay, how did it feel to be mentored by a Nobel Laureate?
It was very interesting and inspiring in a way.
I hope they bring more people, and especially in our field, biology.
Okay, hopefully next year. What do you think of mentoring at this age?
I think it's good for us to be mentored at the beginning because we take better decisions, and Yeah.
It's very important because it shapes our decisions for later, and we need orientation. We lack it even at school here in Lebanon.
And the earlier the better, يعني.
Hi, Sara Jawhar, bio.
Hi, Fatima, bio-pre-med.
Okay, what did you think about the talk?
It was very interesting seeing the perspective. He started off from nothing and he has achieved so much. And it was a mix of entertaining and inspirational and inspiring. So
yeah, also it was really inspiring for us. We are starting students. He started from nothing to getting a Nobel Prize, which is really exciting. Yeah.
What part of the talk would you say you could relate to?
Probably like when he talks about having to go through like many people like not supporting him and stuff, but he still like managed to make it through. And he said like a support system is a very important part. Like that was a very relatable to hear, I guess.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.